Today on the Nerdy Gritty, we've played lots of video game demos lately, which has us thinking, what makes a demo great?
One more world disappears inside it. Just another hopeless addict. Well, they make some man instead. If the drums don't get you, the guitars will.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Nerdy Gritty, where we delve deep into the details of pop culture. I am the first part of Dez, like the first half hour of Dez.
Yeah, I'm your pre-alpha fox. I got a lot of bugs right now, but we're in development.
We're working it out, right?
So
this isn't what the final product is going to be like.
Look, we need to get past it. We got to stop this because we got very important things to discuss.
Okay.
Hobbs and Shaw 2, Dwayne Johnson confirms sequel is in development.
Okay, I want you guys to know that Fox, like 2 days ago, was like, oh, I have the intro. I'm so excited. I'm like, okay. And today, I'm like, you're guaranteed Fast and the Furious related thing. And Fox just got this look on his face like,
No. I mean, it's Fast and Furious related. I'll give you that. It is Hobbs and Shaw. It's got its flavor.
It's Fast and the Furious Hobbs and Shaw. That's what it's called.
It was Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw or something like that. Anyway, okay. So yeah, Hobbs and Shaw 2 is in development. We are developing the next film. This is from Dwayne Johnson. The actor confirmed we got to figure out the creative right now and the direction we're going to go.
How are you developing the film when you don't have a film to make?
Which he's obvious. Well, it's in pre-production is what it is. Like they're working on the script, that kind of stuff.
So pretty much they got together and were like, look, we made so much money. We're making another one, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
100%. Yeah.
All right.
Now, what you might hear from that, oh no, another Hobbs and Shaw. But what I hear is, hey, we can get on board. We can help with the creative part of this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I got this.
I need you to get a D8 and a D20.
Okay, done. I got my.
I know
D&D
they
set
usually
right
are.
here.
I confirmed, but they usually got some right there.
DUN.
We are going to help Hobbs and Shaw 2 with some of its stunt work. I've created a role. So what we're gonna do is create a stunt set piece, like an action set piece.
Oh, we got to share this.
Vehicle. 100% we will be.
Yes.
Vehicle related. But what we're gonna do first, like the actual stunt, that's gonna be us. But we're gonna roll for some of the actual parts of it.
Okay.
So, first of all, we're gonna go with D8. Which character are you gonna be?
6.
You are Kevin Hart, America's sweetheart. America's sweet Kevin Hart.
Yes.
And so that one's a little, whatever. You got an actor. You can involve that, but here's where we get a little fun, a little
all
difficult,
right.
depending on what you roll. Yeah, you want your 20. This will determine the vehicle you have.
Oh, it's a okay. It's a 9.
You got the Bluesmobile, my friend.
Yes.
You're driving Bluesmobile. I'm gonna go ahead and say you have to have the giant
speaker on top
when they're when they're advertising.
Oh, that's incredible.
Okay, so you're Kevin Hart driving the Bluesmobile. That's already comedy right there.
Yes, it is. I would watch this movie now.
And now we need a location for this stunt set piece to take place.
Okay, what am I
so
rolling?
Roll a 20 again.
A 28.
All right, you're in Jurassic Park. All right. Now I want to hear from you.
I already know what I'm doing.
I want to hear your stunt that you are Kevin Hart driving the Bluesmobile in Jurassic Park. Take us there.
Okay, so there's like a dinosaur that has like a sonar type horn on top of its head or whatever else.
Yeah.
And so it's after people. It's an herbivore, but whatever. It's after people because it's Jurassic
Park.
Yeah. And so it's my job as Kevin Hart to be yelling in my Kevin Hart way, like whatever else.
Yeah.
Over
that
the
really
Bluesmobile speaker, and I have to ramp off of a dinosaur.
Okay.
Over the other dinosaurs.
Like a brontosaurus or something, like real big, real wide back, so you get that.
I got to ramp off of its tail.
Yeah.
Over these dinosaurs that are chasing to like disconcert them.
And all of a sudden, because it's the Bluesmobile and we want to get the Blues Brothers in there, you're like hundreds of feet off the ground for some reason.
I'm just soaring.
Just soaring through the air. Oh, one of my favorite parts.
And then Carrie Fisher tries to kill me for some reason.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher is the antagonist. Rest in peace.
Yes.
But she in this hypothetical movie is the antagonist, trying to blow you up with a rocket launcher or
If
whatever.
you guys
she
have
has.
never seen the Blues Brothers, it's
Watch
so
it. It's
ridiculous
hilarious,
and it's wonderful
and ridiculous. Okay, yeah, you got to involve some kind of dino
Of
on
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Absolutely.
you got Dr. Ian Malcolm in the back saying
Chaos Theory.
Hobbs and Shaw find a way or something like that. I don't know. All right, well, we're gonna put this up. We there's obviously so many different vehicles and places.
I'm
and
really
even
excited for
that
that.
we didn't get to, and some of them are.
And here's what we want you
really
guys to
great.
do. We want you to either write down or record a short video of your stunts.
Yeah, come up with your stunt.
Yeah.
The Rock is looking for this stuff. They bring
They need
everybody.
it, man.
They have like 40 people in these movies, like on the cast. We could get in there.
Yeah.
Bring us in.
Yeah,
We
come on,
got
guys.
one.
Come on.
We got all this creativity. All right. Well, that was fun, but let's move on to some of the stuff going on in the news right now.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of news, you know what just happened yesterday for us recording?
Not April Fools.
Not April Fool's.
April Fools.
Speaking of April Fools, though,
Yes.
there were a lot of really good April Fool's articles that came out. And so I'm going to run through. So my first chunk of quote unquote news for
Sure.
you guys.
Sure. Give us that roundup.
Yeah. So we're going to give you a roundup of April Fool's articles. Minecraft. Minecraft has the next update for Minecraft. You know, Minecraft, it updates a lot.
It does.
Yeah, this one is update. Let me go ahead and double check. Snapshot 20W14 Infinity is what the update is.
20W up. Okay.
20W14 Infinity.
Sure.
Every update imaginable.
Okay.
And essentially what it is they've made an algorithm to say it's every whining Minecraft player and just give them
there you
every
go.
update that
Hey,
could
everything
possibly
you
happen.
want. Yeah,
Anything
okay.
you could ever want is possibly coming to Minecraft now forever. So
good.
yeah, that was a good one right there. Then we've got so this was a real thing that happened that I was really happy with. Overwatch for one full day put googly eyes on
I
every
saw
single
that.
one of
That
their
was
characters,
great.
and it was hilarious. Amazon announced a spin-off of The Boys.
I saw this one.
The Good Boys.
The Good Boys.
Starring all dogs.
All dog cast. Same plot.
Yeah, exact same plot.
I'd watch it.
All dog cast.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering announced their new set starring Godzilla.
A kaiju set would be
Kaiju
great.
set starring Godzilla.
Okay.
Oh, double April Fools. That one's real.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, it is.
Is it actually starring Godzilla? Or
Yes. Godzilla
Oh.
is a character in Magic the Gathering now.
I love it.
Godzilla is canonically in Magic the
That's
Gathering.
super cool.
So this is a real thing that the article just came out today, and I very much was like, I gotta make sure this is an April Fool's.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure. So Ikoria. Ikoria is the name. It's Ikoria, land of behemoths or something
Okay.
like that, and it is a kaiju themed set.
Are there giant robots also? Because there should
I don't
be.
know if there are giant robots.
It should
because it
be.
just released today. There are like 8 spoiled cards.
Gotcha.
That's it. So, but there's a small problem.
Uh-oh.
There's a card, Space Godzilla, who is also a character in this.
Sure.
Space Godzilla Death Corona is a card in this
Ooh, gonna have to fix that one up.
because the Corona beam is Godzilla's beam.
Oh, is that what that's called?
Yeah, it's always been called the Corona beam.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, okay. You've seen Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
You like it more than I do,
I
but
do.
it's not a good movie.
No, it's
you
not.
know that. You know that, right? Okay. There are people who disagree. It's not a good movie. Zack Snyder recently, he made a live commentary track for Dawn of Justice. He released, it was the 4th anniversary release of the movie. 4th anniversary, I don't know why they released it.
4 whole years.
Yeah, releasing a new director's commentary track of the ultimate cut of the divisive DC
for that
movie.
ancient classic.
Ain't that that classic, that vintage movie. So here's some things he reveals. Do you remember the general guy who he was in Man of Steel as well?
Yeah, it's
He was-
Lois's dad, right?
No.
No?
What?
Oh.
No.
Lois's dad is a general. Canonically.
Sure, but in
I
this
thought
he
that was
was not.
Lois's
He was
dad.
he
Oh.
was Commander Locke in the Matrix. I don't know if that helps you, but he was a military
Oh, yeah.
general, or
Yeah.
he was Lieutenant General Calvin Swanwick. So apparently, I'm just going to give you some reveals he gave us. Zack Snyder had a 5-movie arc planned out. Whatever. You know what? We could talk about whatever. But what was intended to happen was that guy was the Martian Manhunter in disguise the whole time.
I could see that. Didn't
Sure.
he play Martian Manhunter in something else? Or
It
an
must
alien
have
of
been
some
an
sort?
animated. I don't know.
Maybe an alien of some...
I have no idea.
I gotta look
I don't
this
remember
up.
seeing... No, hold on. Okay, we got more stuff. But he was
go
supposed
ahead.
to be... And apparently the actor actually knew that. And, like, tailored his performance to apparently be a Martian in disguise.
How do you...
I don't know. That's
All
just
right.
that's where his character was coming from.
All right.
It's like what's his name? Alan Rickman knowing that what Snape's deal was
Oh, yeah.
before, because J.K. Rowling told him, so was able to use that. Anyway, Jimmy Olsen, who I don't know if you knew this, the very beginning of Batman versus Superman, Lois is interviewing some terrorist guy, and there's a CIA group or whatever, like a soldier squad or something with her to protect her.
Okay.
And she starts the interview. Turns out, whatever, they were there to actually try to assassinate this terrorist.
Oh, okay.
But they know that, the terrorists know that, and kill the squad before they can, and then Superman shows up and saves Lois.
Got it. Yeah.
Turns out the leader of that, like, soldier people was Jimmy Olsen.
What?
That's already been confirmed. Jimmy Olsen was a soldier guy, special forces man. He dies at the beginning.
Photographer?
Yeah, right. Jimmy Olsen dies at the beginning of Batman vs. Superman.
What?
That's been confirmed before. We already knew that, but he was supposed to play a huge role down the line.
That's
How?
weird, but
I have
okay.
no idea. Wonder Woman. Let's see. Wonder Woman wasn't always intended to be set, the movie, during World War I, while the idea that Gal Gadot's, sure, I'm going to say it that way, Diana was active long before Batman v Superman was always part of the plan. The filmmakers discussed anchoring her origin story in older conflicts like the Civil War.
Whoa.
So Wonder Woman would have been much older.
Yeah.
And there are other versions of the photo Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne discovers of Diana and her team. One last thing, which is pretty crazy about Animal Crossing. So you know about the stock market, right?
In Animal Crossing?
Basically, a lady shows up every Sunday, Daisy May.
Turnips?
You can buy turnips from her.
Right.
And then you can sell those every day at the Nook's Cranny, but the price fluctuates.
Oh.
So it might be below what you paid or above what you paid, and you never know. And it seems as though people have been, instead of just waiting and crossing their fingers, they're looking on social media, and other people are welcoming them to their village, where if the price is higher on their village, in their island, literally lines of thousands of people are waiting. Not on one island at a time, of course you can.
Oh, okay.
But virtual lines have been created for people to come to an island, sell their turnips, and leave.
That is insane.
They're juking the stock market here in Animal Crossing, where they're ruining the economy.
What have you been up to, Fox?
Not much aside from playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah, no kidding. You have a problem, sir.
No, I'm not waiting in line to sell turnips. That's the new bar for the problem of Animal Crossing. Is if you're not waiting in line to sell turnips on somebody else's island, then you're fine.
The only reason you would not do that is because you'd be satisfied with fishing 400 fish for that money anyway.
It'd be lazy. I'd just be lazy is what it would be. But I did watch the movie Lord of War.
Oh, that's the
You watched the Nick Cage
right?
movie? Yeah. I remember watching it a long time ago and thinking it was mildly interesting. And so I was like, might as well. And Nick Cage is always fun. He's not really that fun in this one, unfortunately. He's the most, like, serious, really. Like, there's some crazy stuff that happens, but he's the most, like... Nick Cage is always best when you kind of let him loose and just be a ridiculous man. Because he goes all in on it, you know?
Yeah.
This one is more like a kind of a downer. What's more interesting is kind of the story around him, because it's about a real life arms dealer. I forget his name, but Yuri Orlov. Anyway, it's about him and just kind of his path to becoming one of the biggest arms dealers in the world. And what's more interesting than the actual story that takes place, because it's a fairly like simple rise and fall. And, you know, here's what I've lost because of who I became. And all, you know, it's fairly simple. But the actual stuff that's talked about is real life stuff.
Last night we watched Spies in Disguise.
Yeah.
We were planning on watching Onward, but apparently it doesn't come out till tomorrow. I have to wait 2 more days. Monsters. But Spies in Disguise, the Will Smith, Tom Holland movie.
It's a different Tom Holland animated Disney movie.
Right, exactly. This is not Disney. This is Blue Sky. Remember a while back when you were
I
like,
thought it was a Disney movie.
There's like Pixar, and then below Pixar was DreamWorks, and I told you no, below that even is Blue Sky.
Oh,
that's these people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and it was if you were to just watch the movie, especially as a kid, it's a fun movie. It's fine. It's an okay movie. Like my kids really enjoyed it. They had a good time. There were some weird things in it that it made me not like, as an adult viewer, it was not great. Will Smith, of course, has music in the soundtrack, but some of that music plays during the movie.
Okay.
While his character is talking. So
you got his voice, two of the same voice intermingling.
Yes, and it's so weird sometimes.
That's weird.
Like, definitely removes you from the fiction. Like, wait, double voice. What is going on right now? But the weirdest part of it is how oddly sexual the whole movie is.
Really?
A lot. So, penises.
I'm uncomfortable listening to this.
Penises are referenced, again, subtly, a lot. Like half a dozen times easy.
Just like jokes about just being kicked in the crotch or something? Or?
Nope. I mean, so there's a point where he's turning into a bird and his hand shrinks. And he looks at Andy and says, "Small hand!" And the very next thing he does is open and look in his pants.
Yep, okay.
Or...
because he's a bird wearing pants now.
There's a time when they walk in on a big fat villain and he's naked. And he's walking around and you see his butt a lot, of course.
Sure, that's okay to see.
But there's a point in which he has to pick something up and it's from behind and he goes to bend over.
I'm uncomfortable.
And immediately they cover it with something. Like he puts his wing up because he's a bird, where you would clearly see something dangling between the legs. He puts his wing up, so
I
you
don't like this.
Very clearly referenced.
I've been playing Doom 64.
Oh yeah.
This would be the 6th Doom I've played that's going up on our channel now. It's still from so do you remember when Doom 3 came out and it was like a big deal because it had been a while since we had a Doom and it was a big shift in how like it was like a, kind of atmospheric horror game.
Yeah.
This was the one before that on the Nintendo 64, of course, and it was still in the vein of the original 2. So fast moving, first person, of course.
Kind of the classic first person shooter.
Pretty much all the same demons.
Yeah.
Same. It's great though.
We picked up Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch, and
I know one of your daughters said she really liked it. Your son did.
It is spectacle. That's what I'll say. It is high spectacle. Mm-hmm. It is high replayability.
Okay.
Very easy. Clearly meant for children, which is great. That's just fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Probably what you would buy it for.
Right.
Like you did.
It's chaos, man.
Yeah.
It is also... everything is going on. Sounds coming from everything.
Really?
I'd say easily the hardest part is there's Kirby, and he's the main thing. The camera will not pan out or move with any of the other characters. If you, because it's an up to 4-player game, if you as one of the allies of Kirby get one millimeter off screen, you are immediately teleported back to Kirby.
Oh.
No matter where you go. So it follows Kirby no matter what. Huh. No camera pan outs, no screen tilting, anything at all. And so you can be trying to do all kinds of things, but if Kirby decides to move 8 inches to the right, you can be zapped back to wherever you are.
Man.
And so
you go where we tell you.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about the multiplayer aspect that make it pretty chaotic, because I'm sure as Kirby, I haven't gotten to play as Kirby yet, because my kids are always first player.
Right.
But
you're just one of the star allies.
I'm sure as Kirby, it's a little bit easier to follow what's going on. But when you're one of the allies, you're being thrown all over the place.
Well, that's all I got going on.
That's all I got.
All right, let's jump down into the dark...
the nerdiest of
the dark
gritties.
Tunnel of the nerdy gritty.
Hey guys, before we continue, we just want to let you know that what you just heard was actually an edited down version of the full podcast. We call it the short version. If you'd like to listen to what we call the director's cut, we'd really appreciate for you to head on over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/dezandfox. At our second and third tiers, we offer an unedited version of our podcast, as well as all of our Patreon exclusive content. This means that videos that come out early, or when we talk about new stuff that we're doing, a lot of that shows up on our Patreon, or if we record an entire game through, we do the entire playthrough and put it on Patreon in one big chunk, and so you can binge watch that. All kinds of cool things like that happen to our Patreon all the time. But if that's not something that you can do, we totally understand. We just love when you guys support us in any way that you can. So when you like, comment, share, or rate us, that means the world to us. Thanks again, guys, and enjoy the podcast. So if you guys have been paying attention to our channel, or even just what we've been talking about, we have been playing a lot of demos recently with the Steam Game Festival having just ended last week or 2 weeks ago.
It was only like 5 days long. So
I think it ended like
the
2 weeks ago
23rd
then.
or something, yeah.
Whatever it is, it's over now. But between the two of us, we played about 24 demos.
15, actually.
15
I counted.
total?
You played like 7. Yeah, I got a few more. Yeah, I think 16. 16 demos.
That's like 24. It's the same thing.
You know, it's
Whatever.
close.
Round it up.
I played some other demos on the Switch and some on Steam, so we're close to 24 over the last couple weeks amongst us.
There we go. We'll call it that.
Count it.
We'll just say it's
That's what you meant the
50.
whole time.
We'll just call it 50.
Even 50. Yeah.
But this got us kind of asking the question, what makes a good demo?
Yeah.
It's an important conversation to have because the purpose of a demo is for people to get a taste of your game.
Right.
And to actually want to purchase it afterward, to want more, to be interested in it.
Yeah, that's the goal as a developer. You want people to like it enough that they're like, yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah. So how do we do that? What makes a good demo?
We have played a lot of demos, and like we've gone to PAX for 4 years now and played 100,000 demos at each one of them.
Yes.
And so we've gotten a lot of different kind of things going on. So I mean, I have a list of things here that I think a good demo should contain. Should we just go back and forth what we think are good and talk about each one? Or?
Go ahead, man.
Okay. What I think is important in a demo is that it's brief, but also dense. So it shouldn't take too long. I don't want to be sitting in a demo. I played a demo recently for whatever it was, Trails of Cold Steel 3. If I had not skipped dialogue, it would have been like 2 hours long. And to me, that's like not a demo. Like I'm thinking half an hour is a good time to shoot for. Obviously, whatever type of game it is going to change that depending on how fast your gameplay is and all that kind of stuff. But I think something should be brief that you can get a taste of it without feeling like you're investing time into a game to know whether or not you really do want to invest your time into the game. But during that brief time, it should be dense with what the game actually is like to play. And so, for example, with that Trails of Cold Steel, I talked about this last week. Now, this very well could be what the game is like to play, but the first hour, I think my playthrough was like an hour and 15 or something like that. And maybe 25 minutes of it was actual combat in this JRPG. The rest of it was dialogue and cutscenes. That might be what the game is like, but it really did not paint a great picture for me of like, no, I want to actually play this game instead of watch it happen, you know? So I think brief but dense is my description.
Oh, maybe even balanced would be a good word for that then.
Balanced.
Because I played the Evans Remains demo, and that of the half-hour demo that I played, maybe 40-minute demo, was probably 25 minutes to half an hour of dialogue and things like that. But this was like a Celeste style game where there were platforming puzzles that you had to get through. But those platforming puzzles were just kind of the fun thing to do to get in between this very deep and it's almost a visual novel. Right. And so I think in a situation like that, the balance was just right.
Right. 100%. And like I said, I don't know if Trails of Cold Steel, it might be 60% cutscenes. I don't know. It just, it felt like
balanced. If you want to focus on your gameplay, you got to focus on that gameplay. But if gameplay is just the side story to your story,
to whatever the story is,
then I understand that as well. Or if there is no story and it's just, this is a really choice game that we've given you, focus on that game. You know what I mean? So I think a really good balance is important in that, which is why I'll just piggyback on that. And I'll say that I think that properly representing your game is important. Sure. So there are a lot of ways to give people a taste of your game, but two of the games that I just demoed recently, Liberation and Tunche. Yep. I don't think they properly represented what their game will be, and because of that, there was a detriment to my enjoyment of those games.
It made you not want to play them.
Right. So Liberation gave me good gameplay, gave me great gameplay, but just its aesthetic and its style really, really spoke to what is probably going to be a great story as well. A really intriguing story. And they purposely did not give you that story.
Right.
They just gave you teeny tiny snippets of it. And so I don't feel like that totally represented what I'm going to want from the game. And it kind of hurt my interest of it. I wanted to see more. And not in a like, ooh, I want to see more. Like a, no, I thought that was going to be more. Yeah. Oh, man. And then Tunche as well. It was just this little arena in which you're fighting things. And it was boring. It got boring really fast. But then I later find out the demo was just an arena. It's going to be different.
Sure.
Neither of those really properly fully represented the game or what it was supposed to be. And because of that, my interest in those games faltered hugely.
Right. Yeah, that's something like I have here is, be clear about what is in development and what's going to change. Or, you know, I mean, a lot of them will just say, hey, it'll say pre-alpha. You know, things in this everything is subject to change. That needs to be said.
Yeah.
Because sometimes your demo is not that.
Right.
Sometimes a demo is just the first part of your game. And that's fine. It's just showing you what the first part of the game is. But if your demo isn't that, it should say that.
Yeah.
To make it clear. Because there could be nothing worse, I think, in the game buying process of expecting something that you've been shown, getting the product, and then it not being that.
Right.
Like, you can have expectations, but if they're your own made-up expectations and they're upset, that's on you. But if you were given a demo of the video game, played it, and then were then bought the full game and played it, and it was different, then that is a lying demo right there.
Right.
So you have to be clear, hey, things might change. And if possible, like, put out dev diaries, all this kind of stuff. Like you said that Tunche, what I think it was like on the Steam page, it said, hey, we're going to have more, right? Like, you found that out somewhere. So that's great. It might have been useful to have it more clear. Yes. Not just on a Steam description, put it in the game itself, but at least it did attempt to tell you, hey, there's going to be something different. This isn't the full representation of the game. Right. You have to be clear with, and also people like being on board, like knowing what's going on with the game they're interested in.
You feel like you're going along with it.
It's the same with like with a Kickstarter game. I love getting updates on the games that I've backed because, hey, first it shows me you're working on it. You're putting time, effort. I see the changes that are happening with the money I spent on that or put into it is getting used. Or I'm on board with this game. Show me what's going on. Show me what's being changed. Yeah, you want to be a part of the story of it because you're already intending on investing time into it. So let me know if investing my time will be a bad idea.
Not to mention that even if it is just the first chunk of your game, when you're still when you haven't released it yet, there are still things that could change. Right. So, you said maybe it is the first 20 minutes of your game or whatever else, put that in there anyway. Yeah. It's subject to change.
100%.
Things might change. Who knows? You might decide last minute, oh, you know what? Let's tweak this little thing. Maybe even just what the character looks like. Sure. Let's tweak that little thing here and there. And that one thing, just be honest with your representation of the game.
Yeah. If it's very slightly different, if it doesn't change at all, then who cares? Nothing matters. Like, it doesn't matter because whatever. And if it's something that's insignificant, it's still significant enough to add something. Like, just say, hey, we might change it.
It doesn't hurt. If you don't change it,
it's only going to help.
Yeah, it can only
Nobody's
help.
going to be upset that it says it might change and then it doesn't.
Right.
Like, what? It's ridiculous. I thought it would be a different genre.
I would also say it's really important to make sure that you're listening to people's chatter about your demo. Yeah. So it's one thing to release a demo to the world. It's another thing to release a demo to the world and then actually change things afterward. We recognize that's difficult. We recognize that it's hard. But you have this unique opportunity when you're setting out a demo to still change things, to still make things better. Be in there with your fan base, be in there with the Reddit page or with the Steam chat or the Discord or whatever it is and see what people are talking about. Be interactive. It has been super cool for a lot of the games that I've demoed and a lot of betas that I've been in to actually have conversation with the developers and be like, hey, this crashed, or hey, this was kind of hard for me to understand, or hey, whatever is going on here, and to have them say, we hear you, thank you. Now, that doesn't always mean you have to change it.
Yeah.
It could be, hey, we hear you. That's it.
And
the end of the conversation.
And it was a one-off. That's not a bug we're working on right now.
Yeah.
But we heard you. Thank you for your input.
Yeah, thanks for your input. Or if somebody says, I don't really like the way this works, and you're like, yeah, that's the way it's going to work, kid.
Sure.
Just say, like, thanks for your feedback.
Yeah.
And then leave it the way
Here's
it is.
a really good example of this. I recently backed a game called Sea of Stars. It's the JRPG prequel to the platformer, The Messenger, that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I backed it on Kickstarter, and I saw, so they've been reaching stretch goals now, and the stretch goal that they released, I think the last one that they released was for a documentary of behind the scenes of making and stuff. And me, as somebody who really likes watching like the development process and behind the scenes, I was like, cool, I want that. And they reached it. But then I was looking at commentary on it, and a few people were like, hey, we invested in the making of the game, not in the making of a documentary about the making of the game. This stretch goal isn't really the game.
Yeah.
It'd be great if more things you were doing were for the game.
Yeah.
Some of them were more angry. Some of them were like, hey, this would be great. And they said the most recent like newsletter update we got when that goal was reached, they were like, we reached our documentary update. How about one about the game itself now? And there was a very clear like the next stretch goal will be about the game itself. Like, and it was a very clear, okay, feedback was said, we heard it, let's do something. I don't know if it might have been pre-planned and they just got lucky and were able to show this, but it clearly demonstrated we're listening to the people who are paying attention to our game. It's a little different than a demo, but it's still showing feedback. Community feedback is important, and that's true for a demo as well.
There was another game that I played a while back that was we got like an early access to, and it had, and I don't want to throw any shade, so I'm not gonna name any names here,
Sure.
but it had mentioned branching storylines.
Yeah.
And I got one ending, and then I went back and I played, and I did different things, and I got the same ending.
Right.
And I went and I played a third time.
You played it like multiple,
I think
so
I played
many
like
times.
6 or 7 times. I really, really did, because it
It's a
wasn't a
short
very
game.
long game. Yeah, it took about an hour and a half each time. But even though I hit different dialogue options, it always was the exact same ending no matter what.
Right. You intentionally chose different things.
And I did all kind, like I tried, maybe if I do this or that, maybe if I try this secret thing or whatever else. Like I tried everything.
Put in the Konami code.
Yeah, I tried everything, and it was the same ending every time. And I saw in the Steam chat some people saying kind of the same things, like, hey, is there anything? And finally some people started saying, hey, we feel this is a little bit dishonest, or hey, like, I get that there are different dialogue branches, but
Dialogue choices
even, but the story is going to be the same every single time, no matter what.
Right.
And all they really said was, we have no plans to change it at this time. Thank you for your feedback. That's satisfying to me. I'm not happy with it.
It's something.
But it's something. Like, in some way, it's an interaction of them understanding, hey, we've heard you. We got it. Cool. We're not planning on changing it. We're going to be honest with you. But we did hear you.
But maybe you planted the seed for further down the line. They'll be more careful with what words they use when developing. One of the demos I played was from the same developer during the Steam. So maybe they are being more careful with the words they use.
Yeah.
And so you might have changed things without knowing it.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool to get that sort of interaction and feedback, even if it's not always pandering to the fans or giving them exactly what they want. It's good just to have feedback to those who are playing your demo.
Right. Something for me, I want to see at least a sliver of all the different systems in the game.
Ooh, that can be tough though.
I understand, and I want to clear. I don't need everything.
Okay.
Like if I'm getting a Doom Eternal demo, I don't need to use every single weapon that the game is coming because I need to know because it's fun to unlock them as you go and be surprised. Especially with Doom Eternal, there's so many things that keep getting introduced in the game, even in late game. It's crazy. But I think this means more like, obviously we've talked about a good representation of the game between between like story and like cutscene and gameplay and stuff like that. But I even mean in the sense of representation in the gameplay. If I were to play, I don't know, a game that has multiple, like, if I were to play a Final Fantasy, I would like to see at least some version of like the mini games that might be in there, like the bigger ones, things like that. Like just to kind of get a if you tell me that this is a 100-hour game, but that includes like all the mini games and all these things. Like I want to at least like
if 20 hours of blitzball.
Yeah. If you gave me a demo of The Witcher 3, let me play Gwent in that demo. It's not obviously not the main point of the game, but it is a big thing that they put in there and led to and also a draw for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to be a bonus for you if I say, okay, well the gameplay was fun, but that card game was awesome. And so like let us play at least a little bit of all the major systems in the game.
Now that can be tough. Let me speak from
Sure.
what I could see being a dev standpoint here. What if, Sharon, Craig, and Dave are working on the Gwent, and we're all over here and we're like, okay, we've got at least a 20-minute demo ready to go with these things. And Craig, Sharon, and Dave are like, we got Gwent, but it's not playable right now.
Right.
We got a system going.
I understand. There is an actual, you can't just, there's not a point in they're not everything's on the same development level when you're creating a game. Some things are added super late, some things are created and then the whole game is created around it kind of thing. Like, yeah, I understand, but I'd love to see, I want to know, I guess this is just a more detailed way to talk about representing the game. I want to know what I'm going to be doing with my time while playing the game. And so if that involves multiple different types of gameplay, I want to be able to play all of them. Some games are like strategy as well as okay, here's a good example. The Jack Black one from Double Fine that I can never remember the name of.
Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend is for the most part a third-person action adventure game. You're just running around attacking people with your sword or whatever you do. But there is also throughout the game mandatory parts where you play a an RTS light kind of game.
Yeah.
And because it's mandatory, because you have to play it to get through the game, I should in that demo be made aware.
That I agree with that.
So yeah, so maybe mini games you don't really have to do blitzball except for one game in Final Fantasy. I get it, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's just an obstacle basically, or just a story beat. But if it's going to be mandatory for the game and it's a whole system, then it should be in there because those were the least good parts of the game.
Yeah.
in Brutal Legend, and it would have been like it would feel like deception if they said it's this game, but you also have to do this sometimes. Don't worry about it though. We're not going to tell you about that. You already bought it. No take backs.
Yeah, exactly.
And so yeah, let me know what I'm going to be doing with my time.
And I think that's totally fair to make sure it's a full representation of what your game is going to be.
Yeah.
Optional things, they don't have to be.
No.
I don't think they would have to be like showcased, but a fair representation of what your gameplay will be, even if it changes from time to time.
Sure.
Which a lot of games do that.
Yeah.
A lot of games have that
keep it
change
fresh.
from here to
Yeah.
there. Yeah. I would say have both an accurate representation of your story and your game in there.
Okay.
If your game has no story, cool, whatever. If
Sure.
it's just some fun arcade style game or whatever else. But we've talked about this before, that story and gameplay are both really important inside of games. Both are vital.
Yes.
You can have a fantastic game, but the story's dumb. It's not going to be as fun to play.
Right.
And you can have an incredible story, but if the game's broken, it's going to be unplayable. You can't
Yeah.
play it at that point. So have some sort of representation of the story and the game. Have something in there to get it's not just the game that people care about. People want to care about characters too. So
Exactly.
introduce us to a couple of characters.
Yeah.
Get us used to a few things here and there. Make us care about this person or that person. One of the games that I played, Vigil, The Longest Night.
Mm-hmm.
You just are thrown into this and you run in. It's very Souls-light and it's very fun. It's really, really good. The gameplay was great. Then I got to a town and then we started discussing, I started finding out about my character in this town. People like, oh, hey, you're back from the temple. How did your training go? I'm like, interesting. And then it talks something like, it's this girl. She's missing. A lot of people think she's run off with this guard. And I'm finding all these things about the town. And now all of a sudden, I'm not just invested in the gameplay, which was fantastic. I'm interested in these characters too.
Right.
Even just that little taste of the story was enough for me to be really intrigued by the game.
A little more interested in playing it now.
To turn up that notch of the just top-notch, really tight gameplay.
Right.
That storyline really helped turn things up a notch. And vice versa with the Evans Remains one that I played. The story is phenomenal. I loved it and I was into it. And the gameplay was just fun enough. Again, the taste of the gameplay that I got and what I got to play was enjoyable enough that it just turned up that notch. So make sure you're giving us a taste of your story and your gameplay in equal parts. Maybe not in equal parts, but in proper parts, so that we can really get a taste of the fullness of your game.
Yeah. Because not only is it going to be an honest representation, it's also going to get people invested.
Yes.
You want us to know.
Yes.
You want
you
us.
should want us to know at least.
Aside from just covering your butt because you don't want to be just deceptive.
Right.
You should want us to know about these things.
Yeah.
Well, I got one last thing here, and this is kind of, I really don't know how. I don't know how game development works. I'm not a game developer, but I know there are demos that have done this, and I really love it when they do. If it's a substantial demo, so if I'm playing Trails of Cold Steel 3's demo and I'm putting 2 hours into that bad boy, I want my progress, and it's like this one is. It's the beginning of the game and not just a one-off or just an alpha version. This is a localized version of a game that's came out in Japan a couple of years ago. If I'm putting 2 hours into that and I like it and then buy it, I would love to not have to do that again. So let my progress carry over into the actual game. That's just a nice quality of life thing that you can. Hey, you've already put your time into this. Please, you don't have to, of course. What if you might have messed things up or wanted to change something? Right. But allow me to just keep that save file going.
Yeah, especially if your demo is a 45-minute demo or something like that.
Or like an RPG where you've gained levels and put allocated points, and it would just kind of be a grind to do it again.
Or an RPG where you just watched a 10-minute intro, and something like
I've
that.
already seen this.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really good point.
Like, just let us keep going. We want to play. We're invested already. We want to keep playing it.
Yeah.
I don't know how difficult that is, but I know it has been done before. So it's a nice thing. It's also not like a deal breaker for me.
No.
If I like the game enough, I'll jazz through that couple hours or 45 minutes first.
Yeah. I think the word that I would use to help kind of boil everything that we've said down on what makes a great demo, honesty.
Okay.
An honest representation of what your game is, an honest discussion with your fans on the direction of that game and how you're going to be working things with it, and just full honesty on your story, on your gameplay, everything. Just having an honest representation of your game and discourse with your players will really help hook people in the game and make them more interested in what the final product will be.
Yeah. I think that's really good. Like, just let us know. We are into the idea of playing your game.
Yeah.
And so
we wouldn't have started the demo. We wouldn't have started the demo if we weren't interested.
There are times also when I play demos, hey, maybe I will like it. I don't know. And if I feel like the game's just like not really telling me what it's about, or if I see in the comments or something that, yeah, this isn't really good, or this was broken or whatever, I'm not going to want to play it as much.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there were plenty of demos that we browsed and didn't play.
Yes.
There were dozens of demos on there.
Which isn't on them.
And even though we played, 80 demos, something like that?
80, 85? I think. Hold on. 200. 280.
Even though we played a lot of demos, there were some that we looked up and just passed over, and that's fine.
It's not on them. It just didn't catch our eye.
Right. But if we are interested enough to actually click, download, play your demo, we want to know.
Don't waste my time.
Exactly. Give me an honest representation of your game. And I'll tell you what, there are a couple of games that I'm going to buy because of the demos that I played.
And there were several demos. If you go back and listen to that episode last week, right? 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
If you go back and listen to what we said, there were some that were like, I could see this really being enjoyable for the people into it.
Yep.
It's not me, but I could really see, like, I'll give it my endorsement for people who would like that kind of game.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Absolutely. Well, guys, let us know what you think is a great demo. Let us know some examples of some games that had a really great demo for you, or some experiences with devs that really helped you enjoy a demo. Thank you guys for all of your support. Thank you for listening. Huge thank you to Granger for the use of their song, All My Friends Have Wi-Fi, and Some of My Neighbors Do Too, off the album Dear Sam.
Go ahead and jump on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dezandfoxplay. We have quite a bit going up these days.
We do,
At least 4 episodes a day, 4 videos a day. My Doom Eternal, I think, ended yesterday, so Doom 64 started today. The Road to Doomsday, we're off the road now. We're past the Doomsday happened a couple weeks ago. We're still going though, and I made a full playlist of all of them.
To be clear, the doomsday happening and getting off the road, Fox is referring to the video game
Doom
Doom
Eternal,
and not
our current global situation. Sorry, that was poorly timed, I guess, now that I think about it. Oh, no. Anyway, if you want to watch, like, 50 hours worth of Doom gameplay in one playlist, we've got that.
So
anyway, we've got that. We've got Animal Crossing coming up, or going up. It's currently our co-op playthrough.
Right.
I'm currently recording my own playthrough.
If you listened last week,
Yeah.
there have been a lot of issues with multiplayer, so we just decided we're gonna let Fox record.
I'm doing my own, and then you come in.
And then I come in every once in a while.
Every once in a while, and we do some stuff. So that's going to be going up eventually.
Right.
We've also got
What the Golf,
which is an incredibly fun puzzle game.
Yep.
A physics-based puzzle game, as well as our demos that we played for the Steam Festival.
We've gone through all of mine. Now Fox's are going up.
Mine are going up, and I've got a few that weren't part of the festival that will be going up after that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so lots of demos going up.
My Code Vein will be starting probably when you're listening to this.
Oh,
Code Vein
I'm excited.
Be starting.
I don't really even watch our own videos, but that one I might, because that one is an intriguing game to me.
Man, vampire waifu.
It's aesthetic.
2 words.
As well as its gameplay.
Vampire waifu.
All right. Well, yeah, we've got lots of stuff. So even into this time of quarantine, there's lots of videos on YouTube, and we're contributing. So
that's right.
So go ahead and watch. There will be something for you up there.
Thanks again, guys, and always remember that saved games save lives.
See you next week.
My voice sings